Well, South Korean doctors have continued their protests against the government's plan to increase medical school admissions. At the center of the dispute is a recent government announcement that universities would admit 2,000 more medical students from the next academic year. Hundreds of senior doctors held a rally near the presidential office in Seoul. The government says it aims to add up to 10,000 doctors by 2035 to address what it calls a shortage of doctors in the country's fast-aging population. Say higher medical school admissions will only lower the overall medical education level in South Korea and won't solve the resource imbalance. Before the rally, the doctors gathered at a meeting held by the Korean Medical Association. The association has requested the government to cancel the plan. Now, through the week, collective walkouts of nearly 10,000 doctors have caused cancellations of surgeries and disrupted other hospital operations. It has raised concerns that more patients may miss the time for treatment as the stalemate continues. The Asian Medical Center and the Samsung Medical Center have reported less than 40% of the surgeries have been cut. A few patients said they had been asked to leave the hospital as soon as possible. The South Korean government has now given striking doctors a deadline of the end of February to return to work or risk facing judicial action. And for more on this, we earlier spoke to Voice of America correspondent Bill Gallo from Seoul.
Right. I mean, it is sort of an interesting question. There is agreement on one issue here, I would say. Pretty much everyone agrees there is a shortage of doctors. South Korea, of course, has very famously good health care, famously cheap health care. But as is often the case in developed countries where there is good health care, people tend to overuse that. And so when you go to the hospital, even in normal times here, it can be very crowded. And you do get the sense that there is a shortage of personnel. Now, what doctors say is they're not getting paid enough and they have poor working conditions. So what the government has decided to do to fix this is to basically add more workers into the pipeline. The idea there, the doctors fear, is that this will essentially not only not create better conditions and better pay, it will actually lead to worse conditions and worse pay, according to the doctors. Doctors think, the solution here is to make structural changes, to raise the pay, to make the conditions better, have not such long working hours, and that this would sort of naturally attract more doctors into the system. However, the public is very supportive, I must say, of the government's moves at this point, because most people experience this not as a doctor, but as a patient.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.